We're starting out like that time Carol Lazos for CNN 10. First story we're explaining today takes us to an island nation famously said to be 90 miles away from Key West, Florida, but which has a very different system of government that the US. Cuba is a communist state. Its leadership has strict control over the media, the internet, and the Communist Party is the only legal party on the island, and Cuba's new leader wasn't elected by the people, but rather Cuba's legislative branch, its National Assembly, which almost always votes anonymously for whatever the president proposes with that President Raul Castro planning to retire more or less. The National Assembly has just named Miguel Diaz-Canel as the new president. This is the first time in almost 6 decades that Cuba's want to be led by a man named Castro. In fact, when former President Fidel Castro led Cuba's communist revolution in 1959, Diaz-Canel hadn't been born yet. The 57 years old first vice president and the unopposed candidate to replace Cuba's current leader, and Diaz-Canel is expected to keep the status quo in Cuba, closely following the leadership on the Castro president, where Raul Castro will keep a powerful leadership position and have the final way on important decisions. People expect that things will stay same under likely President Diaz-Canel, the communist government supporter is the island says will continue on its course. Significant change. 10-second trivia. What is the fattiest organ in the human body? It's the skin, the brain, the liver, or the stomach. The human brain is almost 6% fat, making it the fattiest organ we have. There is new study out that suggests concussion and even more serious brain injuries might carry an increased risk of developing Parkinson's disease later in life. This disorder has symptoms like shaking uncontrollably, trouble keeping balance, and a slow movement, and there is no cure for it. The study looked at the medical record for more than 300,000 military veterans. Now it's important to point out that relatively for these people, less than 1% ever developed Parkinson's disease. Even so, half the veterans in the study had some form of brain injury, but among the nearly 150 1,050 hundred hadn't researchers conclude that brain injuries carried a greater risk of developing Parkinson's disease. It's one example of how scientists are continuously exploring the brain for symptoms of injuries that could lead to early area diagnosis and maybe even for brain disease. When your eyes were working normally and smoothly trick, very erratic, and your eye are having the trouble focusing, so the movie is very patterns and varied speed we can pick up. A concussion using the eye guide focus. Your ability to follow an object with your eyes is called tracking. A concussion breaks down how your brain and eyes normally talk to one another. So smoothly tracking after a bad is difficult. That's what the eye guide focus records. Your results are taken before and after an event, so you can see in the blue was the baseline you did before the about. The green was about 5 minutes after he had what he called a flash knockout, a very quick knockout, and this is a much heavier fighter he won. Smooth figure is avoided after the about. It's a supplement to the physician evaluation and the normal criteria that we follow changes in speed, memory, concentration, reaction time, movement. Right now there is no single diagnosis tool to determine if someone has a concussion, so doctors will use a combination of tests like asking you to repeat number or a phrase, checking your hand, checking your hearing. and what's happening inside your head. The after concussion and other mild traumatic brain injuries after the MRI and the scans doesn't and the CAT scans doesn't show any pathology, and so release it. We depending on our clinical exam to understand where is the problem or something that we can look at and quantify. Even though we're a couple of weeks past ramming all day, the clinic creation the holiday it's honor interesting info about the history of ramming. We're passing to Mike or to friends to great big story. If you're someone you know has struggled to assemble furniture that's called to welcome site and list about solid pine step by chair from IKEA. That's researcher observed plan and finally assembled the chair taking the metal over 19 minutes to do it. If you don't count the 3 years researchers spent programming the with IKEA.